So why is it that I'm doing this? This whole video creating, content creating thing. What's the point? That's what I want to answer in this video. There are a lot of layers to it, and it's something that's going to be good for me to just get my thoughts out there. You know, if you know me already from Instagram or Shorts or TikTok, or maybe you don't know. My stuff is all unscripted. You've probably never even seen me with a microphone. It's really just off the cuff. I like to write down some ideas that I want to cover, on my daily posts, but nothing scripted. And this video is going to be the same. It's just going to be me talking off the cuff, off the top of my head, surrounding the topic of why I'm doing this video stuff in the first place. And the main reason is taking imperfect action. I don't know if you've gotten to that side of TikTok or Instagram where people are talking about the public speaking challenge, the challenge of just putting stuff out there. And me in my life, I've spent a lot of time in the filmmaking space. I'm also a professional athlete, and working in the fashion industry might be a little bit like too much to say, but I do have a clothing brand that is selling internationally, and it's a point of interest for me. It's something that requires me to take imperfect action, and so just building that skill for me personally is a big key. And also, just in general, the skill of public speaking. I've always been a well-spoken person, I feel like, but being able to collect my ideas and communicate them in a way that's engaging, that's enriching, and that's entertaining, it's something that you can always get better at. So that's the point of this channel. That's the point of it. Another point that I have to mention is it's just a place for me to document my life. And if that's something that you're interested in, maybe this channel can be a blueprint for you, and you can continue to follow along as I just document my own hero's journey, as you call it. It's a literary term that I learned in school, and it's something that's captivated me. And basically what the hero's journey is, it's a cycle. It's a cycle, and it starts with, the call to action, something that takes you out of the status quo. And I feel like I've been called to do this many times. That doesn't mean angels came down from the sky by any means, but just that small whisper talking to me and saying, hey, you should make content. And I've always kind of scoffed at the notion. I mean, just didn't want to be a typical influencer. Nothing that I do I want to be typical. Everything I do I want to do with excellence, and that's led to some serious perfectionism and some serious procrastination. But it's something, in this season of my life, being now 25 years old, and seeing how just going out and doing it has actually been beneficial. If my nose starts dripping, I apologize. But just seeing how long for example, I didn't even mention the fact that I'm an author, and, the author filmmaking, that those two are intertwined. I started with filmmaking and just had these huge ideas that I couldn't possibly build a budget for. I mean, just Hollywood blockbuster ideas. And that's what led to my book series. So, everything that I do, it's kind of building on itself. The books, those are future Netflix series, future films, future, even grander scale ideas that, when I look at it, how I even got into writing was taking imperfect action. Okay, you have this idea for a book, or no, sorry, you have this idea for a movie, but you can't film it yet. What can you do? What can you get out there? And that's something that helped me to beat my perfectionism, even in just writing the books, because I know the books aren't even the end game. It's just, if I don't get the books out, if I don't flesh these ideas out, when it does come time to make the films, to make the series, to make the, animated shows, there's no foundation now. I'm starting from scratch, and it's an idea that has just been in a dusty box or in an abandoned notebook for years and years and years. And that passion for the idea to execute and to raise the funds and to really make that idea become reality, it's not there anymore. And so, as somebody who, has serious perfectionist tendencies and has procrastinated a lot in his life, a word of advice, I know you're here to, I guess, listen to my story and just hear my, I don't want to call it testimony, but just my experience and the reason for me being in this space. But a word of advice is just taking action. Do what you can with what you have. And that's what this is. That's what this channel is. It's going to be a bunch of me doing what I can with what I have. And a space where I can feel safe to share my creativity. And, just let a video have 15 views or 100 dislikes or a bunch of negative comments, and just build that callus, so to say, to an idea flopping or all these different things that if you're in the creating space in any way, or just a human in general, like that fear of criticism, that fear of giving your best and it not bringing the result that you wanted, it starts to go away when you build that callus, when you do things and you see, okay, yeah, it only got 10 views, but hey, I had a great time making it. So, like I said, I'm throwing mud on the wall here, and I'm just excited that you've made it this far in this video. And if you know me from my shorts and from my reels and from, these other spaces, and it's led you to this page, it's great because you get to actually see a side of me that you don't get to see. It's a little bit more intimate, a little bit more authentic even, because, Instagram and TikTok, these spaces, YouTube Shorts, they're all about grabbing attention. And I have to package ideas in a way that, well, I'm not even going to say I have to, but I use it as a challenge to package a grand idea into a small box. And the idea is to provoke thoughts and not necessarily fully solve the problem that you're facing. All I can do is give you a push in the right direction, because all I have is a minute, 2 minutes max. I'm not posting 5-minute reels, but these videos, you get to see the real me, so to say. And a lot of people are terrified of that idea. For me, I've been able to get to a point as a person, and 4 or 5 years ago, this would have terrified me, just this idea, because I felt like I had something to lose being a professional athlete, and you have this pressure to always be working on your game. I'm a basketball player, you just always be in the gym, and you kind of dehumanize yourself in that sense. For me, I love the game of basketball. There's nothing like the rush of playing the game of basketball, and it's something that I spend a lot of time thinking about. Everything I kind of do is geared toward that, becoming a better basketball player, but it's a healthy obsession now. And that's a story that I'm going to share on this page. I'm just really thankful to have a space like this where I can talk, and if you gain value from it, amazing. If you don't, amazing. But, I don't want to sound like an Instagram model who's posting bikini pictures and saying, like, I'm doing this for myself and for my own mental health. I think you get my message. Of course, I want people to gain value from what I'm saying, from what I'm sharing. But at the same time, I do recognize that if I am putting out stuff just for that, it's not sustainable. And I've done that. I have a page with my brother where we had a whole podcast going, and we got burnt out because we were just focused on getting views. We had a video go pretty viral, for our standard, I guess. It's got 50 to 60,000 views, and it's, a video we made for a school project, and it blew up. And after that, we were chasing that next, level, and any video that didn't reach that level of, virality, so to say, it was a failure in some way in our eyes. And so for me, I don't even know if I want this video to get that many views. in that sense of like, that's not the main motivation. That's not the priority. If it helps that many people, if it reaches that many people, and a community can be built from this, then all the better. But posting things, sharing things just for the sake of sharing, just for the sake of maybe helping one person, connecting with one person, yeah, that's my mission, my inspiration. A space where the 18-year-old Anthony would have felt safe and would have learned, would have laughed, would have been entertained, and would have left his phone, his laptop, wherever he was watching, with more energy for his day, more motivation to do the things that he knows he needs to be doing, to go after the things that are on his heart and to fulfill the visions in his mind. That's all this space is. So I'm glad you dropped by and would love to see you here again because the best is yet to come. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you very soon.